What's up, people? What's up? Back again. Back once again. Just trying to get home from work. But, let's see. Got plenty of time right now. 22 minutes. So let's see if I can get all that within 22 minutes. All right, so here's the thing, right? In my opinion, I don't know if anybody's heard, but this came out today. This news, I woke up to it. And apparently, two things. So a while back, and I'm gonna mention two things. And these aren't part of the two things, but two things that are gonna be related to what I'm about to say. So listen, like a while back, right? I did a poster, right? I made up a poster with my Photoshop and stuff. And I don't want to keep like putting it out there, trying to look like I'm trying to suck some attention from it, but it has a big part about what today's subject's gonna be. It's another Verzuz Talk, by the way. But the thing is, I made a poster of putting Fugees against the Roots. The origins of that, like I said in a video, like a video or two ago, was that not only did they have not even tension, but competition back then. Two groups that did a lot of music through instrumentation, and were known for having great MCs in their groups. So I feel maybe that might be a good idea. You know what I'm saying? If I were to make a poster of it, how would it look like? And boom, that happened. Long story short, it got wind from a lot of people. I put it on a thread and a website, and then after that, a lot of people started gravitating to it. Someone took the picture from there, then it went from the website to the source to allhiphop.com to hiphopdx, all that stuff. And after that, it just blew up. Black Dog caught wind of it, and he had to basically deconfirm that poster as if, because a lot of people thought it was true. A lot of people said it looked mad realistic, which is funny to me because I did at least at that up to that time I did like 12 previous ones and nobody caught one of those. But whatever. Things happen for a reason. But anywho, the reason why I bring that up is because this morning it was stated that the Roots or Questlove had been approached about a Verzuz, and that they gave him an opponent in mind that even he didn't think about. However, what he wants to do is release this new Roots album that he has up and coming, and then he wants to also tour it. I think, I could be wrong, but if the article serves me right, I'll try to post the article beneath. But he wants to tour the album and see how the temperature is as far as the receptivity to the album and to the music. He wants to see the response before he says yes to that Verzuz. So yes, they have been approached. I mean, why not? They're the fucking Roots. You know how big the Roots are? Do you? On Jimmy fucking Fallon. Who doesn't watch that show? I know a couple of people that actually went to Jimmy Fallon too. Everybody knows Jimmy Fallon. If you know Jimmy Fallon, you know the Roots. The point is that he had been approached, right? Now, on the flip side, the Fugees on their side, a lot of people were talking about how it would never happen because they all got beef with each other and everything. And that's another reason why when the whole thing spread it out there like it was supposed to happen, a lot of people were deconfirming it because they had beef for a while, all three of them. So, but now, ironically, this is today, the same day too that this whole Questlove thing came about. It was announced that the Fugees were going to go on a 25th anniversary tour for the Score album. Coincidence? So here's the thing. Let's just get down to it. When Swizz and Tim approached Questlove about a possible battle against the Roots, there's only a few groups that I could think of. I can think of 3 groups and then maybe like one option. So let's think. So option number 1, right? The Fugees is obviously like one of the options. So let's get that out the way. That's actually option number 1. I mean, I say them because it made sense. They came out within the same era. They both had classic albums in the same year. The Score and Philadelphia, Half-Life, and they have big cultural hits, and they're both bands that make music and hip-hop. Now, option number 2, right? Group number 2 that they could probably go with, that would be Stetsasonic. For those of you that don't know what Stetsasonic is, Stetsasonic was a group, I think it came out maybe the mid-'80s. For those of you that know De La Soul, that was basically Prince Paul's group before De La Soul. You know, people don't know who Prince Paul is. Well, you know, he did work with Chris Rock. He did work with the Andy Automator. He's done a few things here and there. He's very, very well known. You know, he's basically like, if you had to say, before Tyler the Creator, before Kanye West, before Pharrell, before even Q-Tip, he was the original nerdy guy in hip hop, the weird guy. It was him. He was one of the first guys to represent that type of architect in hip hop. You know, to be that weird and be an amazing producer. There you have it. So that's Prince Paul. He was in a group with Stetsasonic. It features Daddy-O and a couple of, I can't remember the group members off the top of my head, but the reason why I mention them is because they were also a band / musical collective that used instruments, pianos, and all that stuff, and did hip hop. However, their run was kind of short. It was like in the mid-'80s, and I think the last album was 91 or 92, Blood, Sweat, and No Tears, I believe it was. But, you know. And group number 3. The third option, to which I think that Questlove was shocked at. This is the group that I think Questlove was brought the attention of in order to battle them, that I think Questlove kind of was like, really? And that is, wait for it. That is the Black Eyed Peas. Yeah, I said it. The Black Eyed Peas. No. So, okay. So, to me, in my opinion, Black Eyed Peas would be a shocker, because I think a lot of people forget that will.i.am plays instruments as well. I'm not really that versed. I do know their history. Black Eyed Peas, a lot of people forget. Because here's the thing. I want to say that a lot of people in the commercial atmosphere, the casual listener, probably discovered Black Eyed Peas when Fergie was in the group, right? When Fergie had just got there. But a lot of people don't realize that they have been in hip-hop for a minute. They were actually on Ruthless Records, I think, while Eazy-E was still alive. I could be wrong on that, but I do think they had a record even out back then. Like, their first 2 albums were more hard. This is what I heard. I have not listened to them. So anybody that's a Black Eyed Peas fan or just a hip-hop fan of that time and that generation, school me on this. But I believe that their first 2 albums were like hardcore, like of the times type of hip-hop albums, that early 90s griminess. And then after like maybe the 3rd album or something like that, that's when the whole Fergie thing came in, and they became, you know, what they became eventually, and they, you know, got more well known and all that stuff. So it could be them. You know, it could be them. And, you know, again, only me knowing the Fergie era and up, I wasn't a Black Eyed Peas fan like that. But I'm not going to underestimate them, because, look, if this is a catalog thing, too, they could play songs for people that they produced, executive produced. I mean, you've seen it with Fat Joe and them. You've seen it. Who else in the bag did some shit like that? Jadakiss did it against Fab when he played the Diddy verse of Victory. You know, anything you write, produce, or executive produce, you can play it. So they can do that. And will.i.am is no stranger to battling. Let me just say that right now. There was an old video of will.i.am representing the Black Eyed Peas battling Fest 1 from People Under the Stairs. I know only like one of my watchers probably knows what that group is. But yes, Fest 1 from People Under the Stairs, one of my favorite groups of all time. They battled beat for beat, original beat for beat too. It wasn't like something off their catalog. It was a beat for beat battle back in LA. And the consensus was that Fest 1 beat him, but the point is that will.i.am is no stranger to this type of battle. You know? So, I think that that's the only 3 you have. Now, option number 4. Remember I said it was a 4th option. Because Roots are also a band, they're not just limited to hip-hop and they can play other things, it might just be another band. It might be the first Verzuz band off. who could play covers better or something like that. You know, that's something that I could picture Questlove finding interesting and an interesting take on the whole Verzuz thing, right? You know, which band is better, this band or this band? Who plays covers better? Who can make up original compositions in the quickest amount of time? You know, because that's something Black Thought also spoke on too when he was being interviewed, huh? Black Thought also spoke on that too when he was being interviewed by Hip Hop DX back then. They were asking him about, hey, would you go and do a Verzuz? And he was like, probably, but not in the way that they're doing it. He'd rather have a whole Verzuz where it'd be like a competition, like, all right, we're gonna give you guys this topic, and you have this amount of time to make this amount of music. How much music can you make in this amount of time between you and this person? Boom, go, right? So, you know, it could be something like that. So I'm just trying to think outside the box right now and just put everything that I think could be possible to the table for the Roots. You know what I mean? I will say this though, just because I think it's too much of a coincidence that this whole Questlove being approached by a Verzuz thing and the Fugees back together trying to go on tour, but both those news is coming out on the same day, and the fact that the poster I created caused that, not this uproar, but it did cause somewhat of an uproar. I mean, I hate still mentioning it, but the fact that caused uproar before, Black Thought already said it's not happening, but who knows, maybe that was just damage control to, you know, keep the people, you know, the hype died down for when it officially gets announced. So I'm gonna just go ahead and say it. Listen, I might make another video actually talking about if the Fugees and the Roots were to battle, which 20 or which songs could one side play and which other songs could the other side play, and how I think it'd turn out. That's when I have time though. Right now I gotta do a lot of other stuff, and I really gotta focus on a lot of more important things. I just figured I'd do this now because, you know, it's something I like to do. I like talking about hip hop, and I love talking about Verzuz. Verzuz, I think, is one of the greatest concepts to where you can actually see these dream matches that we always wanted to see without, you know, anybody feeling a certain way. Because when you grow up, especially in hip hop, you always want to say who wins the battle, this person or this person, and battles never really take place because someone might lose fans. Like, that's why when rappers talk about, yo, I would love to see this guy versus this guy on URL or Smack or you know what I mean, like those really battle rap things, those actual battle raps, artists that get approached are kind of like iffy because, you know, it's not really them and they don't want to get embarrassed. Well, here you can't really get embarrassed because you got to the music industry with what you created through your music. So it's a battle of music. It's like a sound clash instead of an actual battle. So nobody's going to get really embarrassed unless you're embarrassed at your own catalog. So now we get to finally see our favorite artists that we always wanted to see, these dream matches, battle in a way that's suitable for us and suitable for them. Nobody gets embarrassed, I mean, unless you get outperformed. But again, that's on you. Your catalog got you here. Now let's see if what got you here is up to par with your peers or competitors. Let me see how much time I have. I got a couple more minutes. Now we are off that, and like I said, my nose is itchy. So like I said, I might do another video talking about what Roots can play against the Fugees and vice versa. But now more Verzuz talk. Dru Hill, I think it was Dru Hill, announced that they want to do a Verzuz. Bone Thugs also wants to do a Verzuz. They said they would love the opportunity. And the Trackmasters are also calling out people for a Verzuz now. You know? Dru Hill, specifically, I didn't read the article, but I read a headline. Dru Hill's calling out Jodeci and Boyz II Men for a Verzuz. I don't know how that's gonna go down. Shit. I know that Boyz II Men, a lot of people consider that Boyz II Men #2 album one of the greatest R&B albums ever. This is what I read on the internet, and people that talk about that love R&B, what they say. I love R&B songs. I can't honestly say I've listened to a whole entire R&B album like I do hip hop. I don't know if I'll be able to do it. You know, so I have no right to speak on that. I can speak on it from a fan perspective, but I can't go in depth like I could with a hip hop album. Because I'm gonna be honest, I don't remember listening to an R&B album in its entirety, like all the way through. You know, I love certain songs off R&B, and I could compile a playlist, and I could do that. But you know, to listen to one R&B artist for like an hour just singing, I don't know. But now we got Bone Thugs. They want to do a versus, and they would love the opportunity. Now back then, they were supposed to do Bone Thugs versus 3 6 Mafia, but that obviously didn't really turn out or pan out. This was before they were doing. This is before they were doing live performances. You know, this is before the Swizz and Tim, Lox, Dipset, and Fat Joe Ja Rule thing. This is when they were like screen to screen, Instagram style. And I guess through the technical difficulties and stuff like that, they didn't really do it. So it was just like, fuck it. But they're still interested, and they would love the opportunity to go up there and put their catalog against somebody. The question is, who would you put the Bone Thugs against? Like, I know there was a lot of people that were rapping fast back in the day that got compared to each other. Bone Thugs, and I think Bone Thugs and 3 6 Mafia are basically compared for themes, for the theme of the darkness, like the dark edge topics that they were speaking on. Even though Bone Thugs' music sounded happy and stuff, they're still speaking on some dark things. But then you have Crucial Conflict. And then you have Twista. I mean, Bone Thugs and Twista have a history, so do you do Bone Thugs versus Twista? Do you do like a group against a solo artist? That'll be the first time that they've done that, if that is an option. But, you know, I'm just saying. Yeah, so I don't know. Who do you guys think that Bone Thugs go against? Now you got some people that are out there that also say, well, Bone Thugs versus Wu-Tang, but that's way too different. But hey, I'm all about different stuff, you know, because they like to always say that styles make fights, right? So it is what it is, you know. But that's only if that ever comes to fruition. I don't know if it would or not. So we'll see. Anybody? It's fucking crazy, man. But yeah, I'm getting thrown off because I'm just trying to be aware of my surroundings, people. So yeah, we have that. And then finally, let me see. Yeah, 3 more minutes. And then the last one, damn, what did I say? Dru Hill, Bone Thugs, and who else wanted to do a versus? Trackmasters. Yeah, fucking Trackmasters, man. Trackmasters recently put up a video of them in the studio playing all the hits that they produced and all that stuff. Shit, they were playing like LL Cool J records, Will Smith records, Nas records, Biggie records. They played a Tupac record, Foxy Brown record. They were playing a lot of records that they did. I don't think that people remember the things that Trackmasters did unless they hear it again and they say, "Oh, Trackmasters did that. Trackmasters did that. Wow!" Like, you know, and I gotta be honest, man, I'm not mad at them throwing their hat in there. If you really look through Trackmasters' catalog and play a lot of the the tracks they've done, look, let me put it to you like this. They have hands on LL Cool J, Mr. Smith album. This is a personal thing. To me, it's do I want to say it's my favorite LL Cool J album? I haven't listened to Mama Said Knock You Out in a minute. And Walking with a Panther was cool. 14 shots to the dome was like, it had some nice joints, but it's like, what the hell? But the reason why I mentioned Mr. Smith is because top to bottom, Trackmasters had their hands all on that album. That was 95. 96, another album, Nas, it was written. It was Trackmasters along with a few other producers like Primo, Dr. Dre, Havoc. But for the most part, Trackmasters had their hands all on that. Another classic album. 97, you're saying they got big enough iconic stars? Guess what? Will Smith return album after The Fresh Prince was off air and finished. You know? He wasn't The Fresh Prince anymore. He was Will Smith. And that Big Willie style album, Trackmasters all the way down. You can say what you want about Will Smith and that album, but a lot of people actually give that album props. They said it was probably amongst the best hip-hop albums of that year. I don't know, considering you had Wu-Tang Forever, Life After Death, One Day It'll All Make Sense, even the Mace album. I mean, I don't know. But I guess it was probably put that high up there because it was different sounding. It's Will Smith. This is off of the ending of the sitcom Fresh Prince. You know what I mean? So, anywho, guys, yeah, man, for JD to feel aware about Diddy disowning him to even give him a challenge, but yet JD disowned the Trackmasters earlier after hearing all those tracks they were playing. Yeah, man. And I think there was a caption too above the video saying, Dupree, Diddy, or Dre don't want any Trackmaster smoke. I don't know about Dr. Dre. I don't know about Dr. Dre. We don't have enough time, but the difference between, well, Diddy, no, Trackmasters and Dr. Dre are actually similar in that a lot of the records that they're known for, they actually had a hand in it, meaning that they actually pushed the buttons and produced certain things. Jermaine Dupri also, but Diddy, a lot of the stuff, he just has executive producer name on it. I don't know if he really touched buttons because he had his own production team, the Hitman. You know what I mean? But point blank is, I'm actually proud to see Trackmasters fighting for this spot to be in the Verzuz. That would be interesting, but who will go against them, right? Do you do the Uma, Q-Tip, J Dilla, and Ali? I don't know. Q-Tip against the Trackmasters? The Uma? I don't know. But alright guys, I'm about to end it. In the next video that I do, hopefully I do Fuji's Roots. You know, since I think that's probably the most likely one, but you know, we'll see. But anyways, I'm out of here guys. Be well, stay safe. God bless.